Today we are going to see the difference between would you mind versus do you mind. These are usages only. We'll be using it according to the situation. The first one is where we are using these kind of things are to tell some polite permission, to get some polite permission. We are using these kind of things. Like I hope that the meaning of polite is clear for you, since we talked about the meaning, its pronunciation, synonymous words in the previous classes. If you forgot that, please go and refer to the notes. Now we'll come to this thing. The first sentence given here is, can I sit here? Can I sit here? That means it is a basic way of telling or asking someone a permission, that can I sit here? Can I get a seat here? That is it. It is a like what informal way of telling or asking this permission. But we can modify it like may I sit here. May I sit here means that is more polite, right? It is slightly more formal, right? It's slightly more formal than can is like a informal way of telling, and may is like more polite, it is formal way of telling. And one another way of telling the same idea or same aspect is, may I sit here is the one thing, can I sit here is another thing. And now I am going to talk about another usage, that is, would you mind if I sat here? That from the sentence itself it is clear that it is an indirect way of telling or asking the permission, but it is more polite than the previous two sentences. Got it? And one more way of telling the same idea is, do you mind if I sit here? Do you mind if I sit here? That means it is similar to would you mind, but feels bit less formal, right? Do you mind if I sit here? That means it's a kind of like question, a slightly authoritative kind of like, it's, are you okay for this thing? Like, are you okay if I sit here? That is the idea conveyed here. Next one, would you mind if I took a nap? Someone is asking to other person, like, you have any problem whether I sleep now? Do you have any problem like that? Next one, do you mind if I ask your mom? Do you mind if I ask your mom? The next one is, do you mind if I leave a few minutes earlier? That is, if I am asking my colleague that, do you mind if I leave 5 minutes earlier? Yeah, are you having any problem? That is the exact message this person is trying to convey. And the last example given here is, do you mind if I come with you? It is a kind of permission, but it is asked in a casual way. That is the thing. Now we'll be looking into the request kind of sentences. First one is, could you lend me 5,000 rupees? Could you lend me 5,000 rupees? It is simple and it is directly asked, right? It is a simple question and it is very directly asked. And the next one, same thing, but it is used, it is like what? It is told in some other way. Would you mind lending me 5,000 rupees? That is polite request, but less likely direct. Would you mind lending me 5,000 rupees? It is what? It is a polite request. It is polite only. Its nature is polite only, but it is told in some roundabout way. And same idea conveyed in another ways. Do you mind lending me 5,000 rupees? It is what? It is similar to would you mind, but feels less formal. It is like informal, right? It seems like we are asking to someone very close. Do you mind if you have a money? Can you lend me? Like that it is asked. Got it clear? Now, next one is, would you mind opening the window? It is a polite expression, but it is asked in an indirect way to ask something to do something. Got it? These are the things that you have to note while asking about the request. Some more sentences are given here which has the request nature, and I will read it out. Do you mind opening the window? In the above sentence, would you mind opening the window? It was written like that. Now it is written like, do you mind opening the window? And the next one is, would you mind lending your car or bike or pen? You can change it in any way. You can tell it like, would you mind lending your car? Would you mind lending your pen? Would you mind lending your mobile phone? Like that, you can change it accordingly. The next one is, would you mind watching my bag for a few minutes? Would you mind watching my bag for a few minutes if you are traveling in a train and immediately you want to go out and buy a bottle of water? Yeah, if your co-passenger is okay and friendly, a very nice person, like we can't understand who is traveling with us and how that person will be, but still in our primary analysis we can know, right? So you can ask that particular person, or let it be your close friend. You can ask him or her like, would you mind watching my bag for a few minutes, for some time? Can you keep my bag? That is the exact idea to be conveyed. Now, some key points to be noted here is, would you mind is a very polite way of asking permission. Okay, would you, whenever we want to tell something very politely, we will be using would you mind. And do you mind is slightly less formal but still polite. It is slightly less formal. It is not that much like a down to earth kind of usage, but it is polite only. And the next one is, can I is more straightforward request for permission. That is, can I means it is what we are directly asking to someone very directly. That is, in a direct way we are telling them. The next one is, may I is a formal and polite way of asking. May I is a polite way of asking. It is very polite. So you have to keep in mind where and how it is used, how all these things are used, where would is used, where do is used, and where can I is used, where may I is used. All these things you have to keep in mind. Okay.